Thanks for everybody for joining WWTF. We Want the Facts, the gaming show. I'm Fred White.
And I'm Mike C.
Hey, and today's show has a little bit of controversy in it.
Correct.
We're talking about Jared Fogle, who was the spokesperson for Subway, and Bill Cosby, America's favorite dad, better known as Heathcliff Huxtable, that played on The Cosby Show.
Correct. Also joining us today is our good buddy Harold. Welcome back, Harold.
Hey, thanks guys. Good to be back.
All right.
Now, I'm looking at the difference between how the media treated Bill Cosby and Jared Fogle. Now, we all know that we've seen the cartoons and all the video footage of Bill Cosby dunking Quaaludes, and we've seen a lot of stuff about him saying that he did this and that and the other. It's all alleged stuff. Jared, in the other case, it's not alleged. He was found on Ashley Madison, the website. That's what really brought him out. And then the FBI raided his house, found out that he had child porn. Harold, how do you feel about that?
Well, the thing with Bill Cosby, you know, the allegedness of getting girls intoxicated in their pants, that just pretty much makes Cosby, you know, if this is true, which, you know, the court evidence, you know, this came out years after the fact, and, you know, if he actually did this stuff, he lost all credibility, and he's a scumbag in my book. I mean, it's just plain and simple. There's just no good things you can say about him after that, really, you know?
Now, I do believe that if he did it, which we don't know, right? Because he's not locked up, right? But if he did it, I would say throw him under the jail. Throw him in jail, because it's wrong for what he did. My only thing about that is that the things that allegedly happened, why haven't they locked him up? And the things that happened to Jared Fogle, nobody has put any type of, you know, funny comments, or there's a few that I found when I was doing research for this show. I only found one. Harold, you found something else. We was talking about it before the show?
Yes, I did. I found several, actually. They're all over my Facebook feed. But, you know, one of them in particular had two inmates sitting on a bunk, and the inmate looks at Jared and says, "Hey, what's tuna sub spelled backwards?" And Jared has this confused look on his face. The inmate says, "It's what I'm going to do to you later." And, you know, tuna sub spelled backwards is bust a nut. Yeah, so
they're genius, but yeah, wow.
Yeah, there's definitely some good material comedy-wise about it, but you know, the big thing, the difference, if I want to continue for a second on this, it's like Bill Cosby, the reason why he's probably not in jail is statute of limitations. All those things, allegedness, happened years and years ago. Now, it came out later in court documents. He probably paid him off if it happened, which happens a lot with famous celebrities. I mean, money talks. Everybody has a price, as we know. Jared Fogle was caught red-handed. Somebody in his foundation had child porn, so they were investigating him as well after a tip, and they found the child pornography. Now, if I'm not mistaken, he has not been accused of sleeping with a child. It's just the pornography on the computer, which is still as bad. But you know, unless I did not see it correctly, I don't think he has been accused of actual molestation of a child.
From the stuff that I heard, like I said, the story from Jared wasn't widely available. So the things that I've heard, or some of the stuff that I saw, was underage sex with minors. So that's the only thing that I heard, and then I heard about the FBI actually raiding his house. But the underage sex with minors, I don't know if that's true or not. But what was it, Ashley Madison that did out him for having affairs in his marriage.
And that's how he got in trouble with his wife and everything, because you know him and his wife are now Splitsville anyway because of everything that's come to light.
Now, how do you think this will actually hurt his reputation versus Bill Cosby's reputation, Harold?
Well, it's Jared's reputation is shot. It's in a gutter. It's in jail with him where it belongs. Because when you're guilty of a crime like this, now given he has not been proven guilty legally, but he has confessed to it, obviously. And when you do something of that nature, your reputation's shot. In fact, for the work I do, I service a Subway, and they had to take down all their posters referencing Jared, and I saw several in the back. And I asked the employee about that. She's like, yeah, we can't even mention his name at all because it tarnishes the company because of what he's done now. Not what he did with Subway with the promotion and losing all the weight, which was great. However, one thing can ruin you, and this thing has ruined him.
Me personally, I think it's... race is playing a lot in this, and we've seen it a lot. For instance, this is off topic, but the controversy with Michael Vick, which is my favorite player in the NFL, he now plays for the Steelers, or I don't know what's going on with that. Yeah. But with David Rosenberg, he was allegedly supposed to have raped some women.
Correct.
And the NFL or the media just hush that away. But Michael Vick, with his dog situation, when he wasn't even at the house when it happened, they don't even want the man playing on his team. And to me, Michael Vick is probably the best quarterback in the NFL today.
Okay.
I mean, I don't sit up there and really watch football. The only time I really watch football is when Michael Vick plays. You know what I'm saying? That's my man right there. But to me, he's the best quarterback in the NFL. And they're still messing with him about this dog situation, but they're not talking about anything about what Roethlisberger did or whatever his name is. They're not talking about the rape of kids. So you mean to tell me the people of Pittsburgh values dogs, pit bulls, more than they value human life?
Yeah.
So the Bill Cosby and the Jared situation, I think race is playing a lot of that on that situation. For instance, we live in Maryland.
Yes, we do.
And I'm quite sure, Harold, you heard about what happened between the stuff that was going on in Baltimore about how the cops killed this man, and Freddie Gray, rest in peace. But there's a guy that is facing life imprisonment just for busting a cop's window. When Jared only got 5 years for what he did, but you want to put this young man in jail. I don't know his name.
Underneath the jail, basically, for doing something to a
busting a police window.
Yeah.
So
it's not alive.
I think racism or race is playing a part in the media of how these even big name celebrities are getting treated. I mean, Bill Cosby, he was like the father, the best father of all times, and like we said, we don't know if he did it or not because it's all alleged and not a lot of proof is coming out, but his reputation is damn nearly tarnished off of something that happened or allegedly happened. We don't know, but his reputation is tarnished, and not only is not affecting him, it's affecting all the other castmates that was on that show. And that's all I'm saying, Harold, is that I think racism is playing a part in that situation where you have Jared Fowler that wasn't widely covered about his wrongdoing, but then you got Bill Cosby that when people heard about the story right away, they was like, okay, he's guilty, without having no proof at all. So that's kind of weighing in on what I'm talking about. So I mean, like, do you kind of see what I'm talking about, Harold?
I do see part of it. The way media portrays things, media likes an uproar, no matter what they're throwing at. Race is one of the easiest things for media to get people to watch, especially nowadays with all the instances where you have crimes, and black people do get punished more than white people on certain things. That's a well-known fact. It happens everywhere in the United States. You can take a black person and a white person regardless of social status, and no matter what they do, the black guy's going to be treated a lot worse than the white guy just because of how the media perceives things and people. Racism, I mean, this is another topic in general, but, you know, racism in this country, it is not what was back in the 60s where, you know, blacks were just totally hated against. Now it's a whole thing where, you know, it's almost white against blacks, as in the part, you know, we're trying to act better than you. And, you know, that's one instance in this case between Bill and Jared. Now, I did see a lot of media coverage on both of them, actually, but I think it's also demographical depending on where you live, in fact. If you're primarily, you know, in the South, you're going to hear more about, you know, Bill Cosby than you will in the northern areas where they're going to focus on Jared Fogle. Because, you know, there is, I'm not being stereotypical here, obviously, but there is a lot higher black population in the South than there is in the North. So they're going to focus on the demographic areas to try to create as much controversy as possible and get people to talk about it. That's how you sell news, is to get people to talk about it. So the media is, that's how they're rolling with it, and the media is what's destroying these cases. I mean, both these men did horrific things, racist side. You know, Bill, yeah, it hasn't been proven yet, but, you know, in my eyes, why are people saying it if it didn't happen? You know, it's crazy, but he may not have done it, and it was so long ago. Why should it matter now? The guy's old. You know, I can't say forgive and forget. Yeah, I mean, he drugged a woman, supposedly, and had sex with her maybe multiple times. You know, Jared Fogle, he was looking at kiddie porn, which, you know, is purely disgusting. And I would love to kick that motherfucker's ass. But, you know, it's just, I'm just going to end that. I'm just going to stop right there on that. I could go all day on it. But you get the drift.
Very passionate, Harold.
I feel you. Like I say, if Bill Cosby did it, put his Jello pudding pop eating ass under the jail. Right. But if he didn't do it, I mean, a lot of people owe him apologies, man. We want to see the play out of this, but yeah, man.
But it's been going on for a long time. I'm like, will we ever see the play out of it?
I don't know. But man, that's all the time that we have for the show, man. I think we're going to come back to this topic to expand it about a little further on racism. Harold, we're going to have you back on that show. We're going to continue this conversation, but like I said, that's all the time that we have for this episode. But we want to thank Harold for coming on the show. Thanks, man.
Yeah, thanks, Harold.
Anytime, guys.
All right. And we'll see you next time on WWTF. We Want the Facts.
The Gamer Show.